The only podcast coming through your beat stereo. It's Cherie's World, so let's go around like a merry-go. Plug your phone in, make sure it got a full battery. Download it Wednesday, listen to it Saturday. She cover all topics, whatever you after. She got ball players, authors, doctors, actors, rappers, singers, entrepreneurs, divas, leaders. Androids or Apple, turn up your speakers. Trying to shoot my shot like the vaccine. Whether it's Cherie or Maxine, whether the podcast or acting, she that queen. PYT, you know what that mean. Saw you on TV and touched the screen. Touch on you, I plead Lucy's got a crush on you. It'll mean the world to get a blush from you. Teaspoon to me, leave you sleep like Robitussin do.
So we set this up as a world-class Wreckin Cru interview.
Awesome.
And the more I started thinking, the more I wanted to kick myself in the behind, because it really should be 3 different interviews, right? So I'm going to try my best to stay focused on world class, because there's so many intricate points. Like, Domino, you got to go ahead and write your book, boo, because clientele.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
His book out, right? And yeah. I've read it. First of all, I've been a huge fan, like, since I was little. You guys know.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
And then Alonzo has his book, NWA, Not Without Alonzo.
Yep.
And so reading the 2 different books, I'm like, Domino, where's your book?
Well, I'm the 3rd generation of world class.
But you've been around since the 1st generation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course I knew him and everything.
Me, Domino and I went to high school together.
Yeah.
We went to Gardena High School together. And Lonzo was a few years ahead of us, but he also went to Gardena High School. So all 3 of us are attendees of Gardena High School.
You know, I was reading your book the other night, because I've had it since you did it, but then I had to go back. I got all these things, and then I was like, is this a podcast, or is this because I'm nosy? And it started out with this boy that you raised, and we don't have to touch it, but this Cedric, who thought that he was going to be faster than you, but you blew him out the water.
Blew him away.
Is that when the competition built up in you? Like,
you know, it was really always there. And being the oldest, you know, of 5 kids, I had to represent. But also I had uncles, you know, who pushed me and my cousins to you know, to be tough guys and not to, you know, take any crap off anybody. So when we got into sports and playing, you know, ball and stuff like that, baseball, football, basketball, whatever, you name it, whether it was street ball or, you know, formerly like Parks and Rec, or even for the schools, you know, that competition, that level of competition in me, that spirit of competition was always there.
Wow. I was reading and I was like, this started early.
Yeah. He tried to dust me, but I dusted him. I got him. I got him.
So look, if you guys haven't read it, you need to go find it. It's DJ Clientele. The book is phenomenal, and it touches on so much more than just the Wreckin Cru and his whole business, his whole career. It touches on the Black man, the spirit of a Black man. He talks about his trip to Africa, which I am so intrigued. I want to go, and I'm jealous that I didn't get on that plane with you.
I would have loved you to come with me, man. You know, having the opportunity to plant my feet on my ancestral roots, the land of my ancestral, you know, roots, was such an awesome thing. I literally, as soon as I got there, you know, tears started welling up. I literally just kneeled down and just kissed the ground, because it was, you know, the sun returning, you know, and so to have that experience, but then also to have the people there welcome me like, hey, yo, you were just a cousin that went down the street and around the corner. Now you back. I felt like I was at home. You know, I felt like, you know, it was like, dang, I just dipped out for a minute. And now, you know, now I'm back home with all my family. It was a beautiful experience.
Being in Africa, was it just like how Richard Pryor said he was walking around, he actually saw people that looked like, he's like, that's Joe Frazier. You know, was it like that?
Yes, yeah, absolutely, man. And the funny part about it was, I was there for a couple of reasons. One was humanitarian, and the other was business. So to be able to go into the city government, to go to the highest levels, you know, of the country, and see the people there, everybody was the same color or hue as me. I mean, everybody from the bankers to the lawyers to the politicians to the people who ran the government, to the leaders there. It was a wild experience. It was an eye-opening revelation, as far as I'm concerned, for sure.
That's amazing.
Welcome back, Alonzo.
Hey,
Just so you know, I shouted out your book, Not Without Alonzo.
Thank you, dear.
And I said, I'm so proud of you guys, but this really should be 3 different interviews, but I'm going to try to contain it and keep it the Wreckin Cru as much as I can. But I have so many other questions, and half of it is just because I'm nosy. And I was young, so I was never allowed to hang out. Let's start talking about Eve After Dark. Okay.
Eve After Dark. I'm trying to figure out where you at. Hold on. There you go. Eve After Dark. That's where it all started for me. Dre, Clientele, Yella. At 22 years old, I was blessed with my own nightclub, which is something that I don't know anybody else has ever done it. Now I'm not just the DJ. I am the owner, and doing that. It was on the east side of town, just outside of Compton. Some people say it's Compton. It's not Compton. Technically, it's not Compton. It's in LA County. And we started off slow, but after about 8 or 9 months, we took off to like nobody's business. And then, like everything else, we kind of wore down a little bit. And I decided to start doing something different. And by that time, about 82, hip hop was making a much bigger presence in the music scene. And I brought in Curtis Blow to do a Christmas party for a song Christmas Rap. And I developed a relationship with Russell Simmons. And he sent me his brother and his 2 partners, Run DMC, down to the club. And it was just, nobody knew that we were making history. We were just trying to make some money and get laid.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that is the night that Run DMC came, we as kids in the neighborhood, we came to that, right? I saw that. And right then and there, I was like, oh yeah, I got a battle run. I got to get up. Because I started out as a battle rapper, Gardena High School. We had another brother there by the name of Fly, DJ Fly, blind dude, but he can rap his what off. And people would literally like follow me into the bathroom at school just to battle. So Fly was one of those dudes. He was so dope. He made everybody step their game up because he didn't write anything down. He couldn't do it on a pen and a pad. Everything was
because he was blind.
Yeah, and everything was from memory. So I'm like, man, how is this dude doing that? So I had to step my game up, and I learned how to just like flow, hard like that. So the night that Lonzo brought Run DMC to the club, that was the night. That might have been my first or second time ever at Eve After Dark. But from then on, I was like, oh yeah, this is my thing. I got to do this rap thing for sure.
Wow. Domino, did you used to go to Eve After Dark too?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times back in the days. But I wasn't hanging around, Lonzo and Clientele at the time. Just a couple of homies in the hood used to touch down there a few times.
He was over there on the Blue Pass.
Yes.
Yeah. Because because Eve After Dark was kind of neutral territory. It's kind of like in the middle of the red, the blue, and whatnot. So we had a mixture of people coming through there. But Domino was kind of deep up in the blue area of Gardena. so it was like, yeah, he had to, you got to dip in and kind of be low key.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
in fact, what's crazy is we all are alumni of Gardena High School.
That's
various years, of course. Oh yeah. We all went to Gardena High School, and my younger brother was the only guy I knew that lived in a blood territory and actually ran with Shotgun Crips. He had dual gang citizenship. But
Lonzo, at that time, how we think of gangs now and sort of like the hardcoreness of it. Right. At that time, it was kind of like it wasn't as deep then.
It wasn't as deep. He was cool. My brother was a cool dude.
Yeah.
And he lived with my mom, but my dad, because my mom and dad split up, my dad lived in Gardena. So we all went to Gardena. I was the first one to go to Gardena in 12th grade. My sister followed me, my brother followed me, but he still had to come home and live in my mom's house. And back then that was a common practice because Gardena was the go-to school if you wanted to get out of the hood. So he was in high school, he ran guns. And then he was a skater. So he skated at Rosecrans skating ring, which was another Crip territory. So my brother was like an ambassador between the Crips and the Bloods because he knew all of them because he went to school. He went to Vanguard, which was all blood, but he also went to Gardena. So when they met up at the skating ring, he would always, hey man, that's my homeboy, blah, blah, blah. It was just a wonderful thing to see, but he made it work. And a lot of things that jumped off, I was about to jump off, but even after dark, my brother put a squash to because he had friends on both sides.
Yeah. And I had the same experience at Gardena, man. I hung with, Bloods and Crips. My cousins, they lived at Campanella Park, a Blood territory. And then I had friends from, Raymond Avenue. Domino know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
And we'd be at the lunch table, Bloods on one side, Crips on the other side. Yeah, everybody cool with each other. So,
so that gang banging was really that serious like that in the early 80s like that?
It could get serious. It could get serious. The guys, they were doing things, but if you knew certain people like me as a young DJ, I started DJing in 12th grade. So I'm sorry, fresh out to 12th grade. But because I went to Gardena, I can still DJ in Carson. I could DJ in Watts and Compton because I knew people in Centennial. So DJing was like a pass at that time. And no matter where you were, if you didn't particularly claim a set, let me back up. There was room for neutrality back in the day. You didn't have to belong to a set. If you didn't say you didn't bang, you could walk through. All right, man, cool. Yeah. And gang bangers pretty much banged on bangers. If you were a civilian, for the most part, unless you stepped on somebody's biscuits or messed with somebody's girl, you didn't have no real problem. You can get by,
Oh, and I had so many passes being a DJ myself. So many passes.
Oh, yeah.
A 12-inch is nothing but a party pass. If they hire you, they don't ask where you're from. All they know is you better show up and be rocking. As long as you don't show up and be throwing down, they don't care where you're from.
You said a 12-inch.
12-inch records were the pass.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That was your pass. We just
got done talking to a sex worker, so I didn't know what you was talking about.
Bring that mind up a little bit higher, brother. Bring it up a little bit higher.
Vinyl.
Wow, that's wild. But yeah,
absolutely. It was a great time.
Yeah, it was, man. And the thing that I remember about that time, particularly when you talk about sort of like the origins of hip hop and the beginnings of it, is like all of us kids, we knew that this was our thing. Like it was something that we were putting together, we were defining, we were creating. And the older folks, the parents, they didn't really know what it was about because they were still into their own stuff, the R&B, the other types of, generation of bands, the 70s and stuff like that. But when we started coming into our own, we were like, yeah, we like these, these gritty beats, this dance music that you can kind of, rock out to. You can do your thing. You can rap. You can, DJ. You can cut. And so Lonzo had given us as kids that place to go to be able to express that. I don't even know like if he fully understood, what he meant to our generation of people by giving us that sort of open source opportunity to really bring our new form of music into that whole thing. So he played a big part in that.
Alonzo, you have like created your own culture. A whole culture is on your shoulders. Do you really understand that? Like when they say the Godfather Alonzo, it's not a joke. We all know who you are.
The funny part about this is I enjoy being an innovator so much. I don't really trip on it because I just do what I do. I was always taught to be a leader. I was in ROTC in high school. The 2 years I spent in Centennial, I spent them in ROTC. But before I was in the 11th grade, before I left Centennial running, I was a battalion commander of ROTC by default. And I've always been in a leadership position. I've always been out front, kind of innovative. So to move into my civilian life and do something innovative is kind of normal for me. I know it sounds crazy, but it's, that's what I do.
In a way it was, because here this dude is opening up his house, right? Opening up his doors, his garage, buying equipment and letting us knuckleheads from the neighborhood play with this stuff. I mean, like who does that? Like, how does that happen, right? How does that? He's giving people jobs in the neighborhood. He's fostering sort of like this incubator of creativity in the neighborhood. He's identifying like talent and giving people opportunities to sort of shift and change, their whole status. I mean, who does that kind of stuff? So yeah. It was that type of situation. And, that's why you're going to find a lot of us, we look back at that and go, wow, you know what? It wasn't too many people that were going to take that kind of risk and believe in us the way that Alonzo did. Like I said, opening up his doors and his house and everything else, his life, his family, to us knuckleheads in the neighborhood and letting us, do our thing and create. Now we headlining Super Bowls and running companies and teaching, colleges and doing all that stuff now.
I come from a long line of trusting people. People trusted me. An old man trusted me with his nightclub. He trusted me with not to get him a lawsuit. So, and before I got the club, the old man that owned it, my daddy took me to the guy. I got to tell you the story. I'm gonna keep it short. My dad saw me doing what I was doing. Hey man, I think I might have something for you. He took me to the guy who owned Jeffy's. Jeffy lived in my neighborhood, up the street from my house. I could see his house from my house. Him and my daddy was drinking buddies. My son got something good. You might want to check it out, see what he's working with. Before I realized it, I'm going to just talk to this man. Before I left, I had a nightclub and no money. I had a nightclub. I wasn't intending to go in to get a nightclub. I was just going to try and rent the room out for a couple times, because like I've been doing. I give it to you every week. Just the price, blah, blah, blah. Don't bring me no bullshit. Huh? So this is the deal. And at 22 years old, I took on that responsibility. And most of the time at that club, I would be the oldest person in the room. But here's the difference. My dad would pop in from time to time. Jeffy would pop in from time to time. So I had to keep people in line. And even when they stepped into the room, people knew you couldn't keep that freak dancing going. Okay, they straightened up. They do their little two-step. And this is the part I think that we're missing right now in hip hop. There are no real mentors in hip hop. If it gets you paid, it gets to go. If we can get money out of it, I don't care what you do. Talking about killing, hoeing, selling dope, whatever the case may be, go for it. Back then, I had people that watching me to make sure I did things in a certain manner. So they trusted me. So trust was instilled in me to let somebody else do some things. And I never got ripped off. The one time I got ripped off, it was not from the guys that I ever worked with. And we got my stuff back. And the same guys, when we got ripped off, we went back and got my stuff. So yes,
that's the story.
It is what it is.
And no, you know what? I can speak for all of us, man, because we kind of felt like it was our stuff too. Like they're messing up our situation if they mess up your situation. So we were always protective, very protective of everything.
And that was the same. And here's something else. I was saying earlier, if the gangbangers knew that you had something going on, they were protected. The Eve was under that same protection. One of my partners, Yellow Ice from Pyru, Alonzo, I like what you're doing, man. We go let me and a couple of homies in from time to time. We got this for you, and they did. Mm-hmm. If I had a problem, hey man, so and so and so. All right, no problem. And he said we got the outside, and any gang shit, we got that and the outside. Y'all take care of civilian stuff in the inside, and that was the deal. And it worked for us. It worked, and that was the beauty of it. I mean, so many guys were supportive. And that's the part where the gangbanging was an asset to the community, because I very rarely had to call the police. Only time I had to call the police when it was a drug situation. We would bust because I had to deal with the old man. He didn't want no bullshit, no drugs in his club. If I had an undercover security guard that thought we was doing some Miami Vice shit back in the day. And so he would bust him and call the police. And that's where me and the cops got into it, because the cops said, y'all called us too many times in one weekend. You're a nuisance. I'm like, damn, they handcuffed. My boy goes to court. All you gotta do is take him out to the court, to the jail. But anyway, that was how it went down.
Now, clientele, you said I'm third generation, right?
Oh, that's
no,
Domino.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Domino. You said you were third generation.
Yeah.
Right. So how does the world-class Wreckin Cru decide to get back together when I'm 46? How does that happen?
Well, we old retired men now. We ain't got nothing to do. And while we still remember the lyrics, we're going to do this shit.
Well, what had happened was all of us, I ran back in the clientele one year. I don't remember exactly what year. It was Radiotron.
Yeah, that's right.
And and I ran the
right.
clientele. And I was like, Clyde, what's up, man? Man, I ain't seen you like in 1,000 years and stuff like that. So, me and clientele, we reconnected again. And then at that time, Wreckin Cru was doing shows, and I'm sorry, Alonzo, but I mean, you just poor Alonzo. Every time they do a show, Alonzo used to have to walk in the back and change the song on the computer. I said, come on, man. I said, y'all need me, man. Y'all need a DJ. Right.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to do some technical shit, and it never did work out. And I was trying to play the songs from my keyboard and from the machine. Every time we do a show, it was always a problem. I'm like, damn, all this shit worked fine in the studio and rehearsal, but when it come time to the show, this shit got nervous. So, and then Domino, he'd already auditioned for us at the Radiotron event, and so that was. I didn't know who he was until the radio. I didn't know. To clientele, I said, "Who's this cat? Keep scratching over my shit." I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And that's Domino. Okay, tell Domino calm down. We got to play the record straight.
You know what? And you know what? The cool thing about that too. I didn't been to Lonzo's house before, then been into the studios before, and I told Lonzo, I'm like, Lonzo, I've been to your house before, and because I was with LA Sound Control. Yeah, and I told you. He was like, man, you was thinner back then. So.
Like I told you and all them other fat bald head son of a bitches from back in the day. You niggas done gained 60 pounds, bald headed. Y'all goddamn fat suits and bald. I don't know who the hell y'all are no more.
Hey, let me clean all this up. Look. Once a member of the Wreckin Cru, right? You always a member of the Wreckin Cru. And if you look at the family tree, I mean, come on, it's amazing. You obviously starting with me, Yella, Dre, Lonzo, and then from there, Battle Cat was a member. Then you start the branches and all that kind of stuff. You go into the Snoop Dogg's, the Eminems, the 50 Cents, the Kendrick Lamars, the DJ Quicks. I mean, it's just it's crazy the sort of like what we kicked off. Yeah. But I think the key here, Lonzo, is that your talent was recognizing talent, but not just like people who could rap, people who could write, but people who were of character, right? And who were professional, or who could learn how to be professionals, who understood the business. I mean, when Cube came in, as a young kid, the story of Cube is, okay, so Jinx is Dre's cousin. And Jinx was one of our roadies, because a lot of times we would have to move equipment from the club to Dudo's Music Center to Skateland or whatever. So we needed bodies, we needed hands. And so Jinx was one of those people that was, helping us move the equipment. He kept bugging us saying, hey, man, I got this group. We got these raps. We got these rhymes. We do all this stuff, man. Y'all need to come check us out. Just bugging us, right? They were still in junior high school. So we tell them, nah, we don't have time for that. So finally one day, I think me and Dre, we got tricked into going to a birthday party. And I don't know if it was Cube's house or Jinx's house. But anyway, as soon as we walked into the backyard, Cube and KD jumped on the mics. Jinx jumped behind the turntables, and we realized it was a setup. So they started rapping and doing their thing, but Cube has so much fire. I'm like, yo, man, we got to work with this dude. But we brought him back eventually to the studio. But Lonzo didn't resist. He didn't go like, hey man, what y'all doing? Who are these dudes here? Who are these cats? He's like, hey, I trust y'all. Whatever y'all got to do, make it happen. And so that was the genius of what you were able to do, man, is recognizing talent, but also trusting the people and providing sort of like that professional guidance for us. And I think that's what helped us to get into a lot of other doors, because we weren't just, rappers or DJs, but we were producers, audio engineers, and we had to have showmanship, so we were looking at all of that, trying to make sure we represented hip hop the right way, because there weren't a lot of sort of people that we can draw from, or models or samples or examples that we could, draw from. So we were kind of like creating the blueprint as we went along. That's why you see us in sort of flashy suits. That's why you see us on stage, dancing around. That's why you see us as sort of a hybrid rap group / R&B group / techno group or whatever. And a lot of people, they lose that. They don't understand it. They think, 30 years later, look at them dudes, wearing purple suits.
Are you bringing the shiny suits back?
I got to, man. The Smithsonian, they want them. The Hip Hop Museum wants them.
I want it.
Somebody else is asking. Mine's actually got stolen, by the way. But I am getting another one done. So Alonzo, hey man, we might be ready to rock in those purple suits again. Domino,
you put on a purple suit.
Get yours ready, man. Get it ready.
Oh man,
get it ready.
Jesus.
I want the shiny suit.
See, he got it. There it is. It is.
I can't do nothing with it, but sit on that goddamn stand, but it's still here. That's the OG right there. I can't do nothing with it. I try to put on a sleeve, it ain't gonna work. Okay?
That looks a little young on you. It looks a little young on you, man. Looks a little young.
That's the OG, baby. That's the OG from the album cover.
Hey,
you might have to add a few extra, yarns of thread to make sure that fits you again.
But here also, the closest thing we had as mentors or people to look at was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you go back in time and look at Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, these cats is wearing feathers and moccasins, and I'm like, dude, I ain't wearing no feathers.
Bear skins and spikes.
Bear skin. I'm not doing this.
Leather.
So we had to come up with something. We didn't want to be all looking alike, so we took a certain style, a classic style with the sequence. And everybody had their own version of that.
And let me say something. Nobody forced us to wear those. Everybody chose their own costume, their own stage
I don't give a damn
stuff.
what nobody say, okay? I don't give a damn how much money they say it with. I ain't never made nobody wear no eyeliner. I ain't never made nobody wear no purple jacket. Nope. I ain't never made nobody wear shit. I'm not a dictator.
And listen, we did not wear lipstick. So let's get that straight.
But you wore eyeliner though. Y'all wore eyeliner.
I had a little mascara. Yes. Lonzo I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Now, Dre and Yella, NWA, they had the full Monty. Okay. Yeah. Now they was pretty. They was very pretty.
did we have stage makeup on our faces? Yes, absolutely. But no lipstick. But who cares? It doesn't even matter.
You gotta put it back on though. It's part of who you guys were. So Domino,
exactly.
If you need
we had shiny lips. Domino got to play catch up. He got to put on the weave. Okay.
Domino. If you need a makeup artist, I might have to get on the plane.
There you go. See, you hear that, Domino?
What?
If you need a makeup artist, I might have to get on the plane.
She's gonna hook you up.
if clientele do it first, I do it.
Well, see, here's the thing. As an actor, it's important, that we represent and make sure that, because the camera. Look, man, you're gonna be on camera. You got to make sure that the pot marks and everything else get covered up. So,
right.
If it's necessary, it's by any means.
Hey,
clientele do it first. I do it.
Yeah, but you know what, babe? Like I tell everybody, look, and it's funny. We're the only ones to get clowned for having Jerry curls. Soul Sonic Force had Jerry. Full Force had Jerry curls. They had some luxurious Jerry curls.
Ice Cube had a Jerry curl.
Ice Cube, Easy E. Everybody had Jerry curls, but for some reason they only clown World Class Wreckin Cru. And I never understood that.
You know what it is, Lonzo? The bottom line is 50% of the people who were there participating in this, we have no issues with being transparent. Because the truth is out there, just like an episode of the X-Files. It's out there. So the reality of it is, again, we were stage performers. We did what we had to do as stage performers to make sure that we put on the best show possible. And Alonzo, you can attest to that, man. There were times when there were R&B acts that were furious with us, mad as hell at us because we tore their asses up on stage.
That was we were very we still are very competitive.
Yeah.
When it comes to back then, stage people after a concert, they ask you who turned it out. Who turned it out? Okay, that was a comment. Who rocked the concert the hardest? Them dudes out of LA, them rap dudes. We had no instruments.
Nope.
So most of the time we going up against bands. We going to Barcades, Mary Jane Girls, Morris Day and the Time. Yes, we rocked the shit out of Morris Day and the Time. That's a Morris on that shit. He wasn't as fly as he was when he was sober. So in fact, we got kicked off the tour because we saw him hit that goddamn magic pipe. Anyway, that's another story. Yes.
Look,
yes.
If we weren't taking no prisoners. If you came on before us, we're gonna burn your ass. If you came on after us, we're gonna make people forget about you. That's how hardcore we were about making sure we did our thing. Always, always, always.
So I want to know. I want to know now, Alonzo. Like, it's COVID. I don't live in LA anymore, right? If I want to see you guys perform, are we going to do some virtual things? Like, the world wants to see you, not just LA.
I had actually talked to a gentleman who had the studio about doing some virtual shows. It's just that the cost of his studio cost quite a bit of money, and I don't have a sponsor for that. But here at Lowtown Studios, we could do it all. In fact, I could do a live show. I'm promoting live events right now because my latest platform is my Roku channel, Homegrown Media Network. If you have Roku, go to channel search and please download the Homegrown Media Network. And right now it looks like the Alonzo channel all day long. But I have I'm still looking for other content. I'm putting together videos. I'm bringing in video shows. And through that situation, I'm able to broadcast live from my studio any given time I want to. And that's something that I hadn't told the fellas about this. So if we can come together, we can very possibly do a live show, a live concert right here from my studio. Do a what you call that shit? A telethon right here, live from the studio.
Let's do it. But there is talk, and there is a lot of negotiation going on. That Wreckin Cru will be back on stage. It's being whispered in a lot of people's ears. So
really? Including DJ Yella
at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that's right. Including Yella.
DJ Yella.
Yeah.
At the Super Bowl. At the Super Bowl.
I wish I could tell you yes, but I can't tell you that lie. But yeah, Yella got with us right when the pandemic first hit, and he came to me very sincerely and says, "Hey man, I had a dream about this, blah blah blah. I went and talked to my pastor, and he says you need to get back with Alonzo and the Wreckin Cru." And I was blown away. I was totally blown away. Clientele was right there when he said it. My pastor told me I need to get back with the Wreckin Cru. And he came by. We sat and talked for like 2 or 3 hours. I called JJ Fad. We were talking about doing this virtual tour. And I don't know what happened, but it hasn't taken place yet. But the fact that he is interested in coming back with the crew is something I thought would never happen. I never thought it would happen, but that goes to show you how God works.
Why did he leave in the first place? I was born in 1980. Why did him and Cherie leave in the first place?
Man, misunderstanding the record business. And back in the day, man, when you're an innovator, when you're trying to do something that nobody's done before, people have the perception that things are different than what it really is. Mm-hmm. And once we hit radio and have some record success, folks thought we made more money than what we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people still make that illusion right now. They see me in a documentary. Oh man, I know you got broke off. No, man, that was a small check, And if you tell somebody, oh, I got 10,000 for so and so, oh, that was bank. No, man, that wasn't shit. My house note is three or four house notes, and I'm done. So, but even back then, people didn't understand. Nobody understood the game. I didn't understand the game.
Right.
I didn't understand the game. Nobody taught me the record business. I had to build that plane. I had to fly that plane, build that plane while I was flying it. So there was nobody to give me no lessons. There was nobody to me about publishing and royalties. Usually, I just write the check. We got how much money? We got 10,000. I'm gonna take out my money. You get yours. Take yours. Here's yours. Okay. So when some people who knew better, you get a publishing check. No. You get a royalty check. No. They didn't tell you I gave you a check, but it wasn't a royalty / publishing check. And that kind of misunderstanding, that kind of lack of understanding, not misunderstanding, lack of understanding, just led to some unnecessary feelings. And I'm kind of cat, man. I ain't trying to fuck nobody. I'm just trying to make some shit happen. You knew this shit. You knew we was doing in the beginning. Fuck you. I'm gonna keep on going. That's just me.
Yeah. You know what it is? There were so many forces happening, pulling us and snatching us in so many different directions. As we started to sort of bubble up and rise, to the top, that there was a lot of pressure, coming from different areas. I mean, I was the first one to bail, to leave, and but in all fairness, me, Dre, and Yella sort of agreed to leave together. We were going for a week. They went back. I didn't, and then a few months later, then they ended up going, on. But again, it was because due to outside pressures and outside forces and other people sort of wedging themselves into the situation and creating this chaos and confusion. But once we took that sort of, 10,000 foot view of everything, Alonzo and I decided, okay, we figured out what was going on, and shoot, we've been doing shows since the 90s, together. So that's just the way of that. But the good news is that, Yella is there back in the fold. In fact, he and I are working on a song together with Little Easy Easy Son, and Domino is involved in that too as well. And of course, Alonzo is going to be on the track too. So that's like a Wreckin Cru, reunion song right there. But definitely, people will be seeing us out there, again for sure, because the desire is there, and we really want to make some things happen, and we recognize the importance of our contribution, to hip hop.
I got one more ballad in me. I got one more ballad.
There you go.
I got hand me the towel.
Hey, can I ask a follow up to that? Because
go for it.
Like I said, I was born in 1980, so I had to like go back to y'all, and I when I heard Master P, Ice Cream Man, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's y'all, right? Yeah, that's y'all. And then so I started doing more research, and I was like, I'm gonna ask you how y'all feel about this. And I want you to tell me how you felt about Master P, Ice Cream Man too. But I listening to y'all song Cabbage Patch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me that ain't an Eazy-E song from NWA.
All right. Yeah. So Lonzo, you can address the slow song. Let me address the issue of sort of NWA's sort of line of progression. All right. First off, reality rap. Wreckin Cru did reality rap before NWA did. All right. So that's a fact. It's not in dispute. Of course, there were other reality sort of songs out there. But Wreckin, of course, the message, with Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and all of that, of course, that was like 82. There were other songs out there. But in terms of the Wreckin Cru NWA connection, Wreckin Cru, we did a song called Gang Bang You Dead. Now, when you go to songs like Cabbage Patch and stuff like that, Ice Cube and Dre wrote that, along with, Barry and whatnot. So the same elements that put Wreckin Cru together were the same elements that put NWA together. NWA is just Wreckin Cru slowed down. When you really listen to the music, the influence of Parliament Funkadelic and Bootsy Collins and all of those groups, incorporated with sort of what we were doing as Wreckin Cru, is just NWA is just Wreckin Cru slowed down in terms of the music. So having said that, the whole through line from Cabbage Patch to This Is Something to Dance to anything else that NWA was sort of doing, particularly early on in the early stages, that's just Wreckin Cru stuff, man. Alonzo, you could talk about the slow record.
Yeah, but I mean, well, before you get to that, Cabbage Patch, that was it seems like it just because Cabbage Patch came out first, right?
Yep.
And then it sounds like Easy's song, We Want Easy, I think. No, not We Want Easy. No, it's not We Want Easy. Woke Up Quick about noon. Just
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. That's what it sounds like. Ain't that Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
No.
That sounds like the same track to me.
The Cabbage Patch is actually come up from the sample we got for Cabbage Patch actually came from a Run DMC sample. Little Jack Horner. That was something we borrowed before sampling was even tripping on. We never got tripped. We never had a problem out of it. Dre kind of embellished it a little bit to make it a little bit more recognizable. But no, I don't. We do have some samples that they use from the Juice 12-inch. Some little drops. So we would put drops at the end of our songs to enhance them for DJs, and they use some of those drops. We never got paid for that shit. But we ain't nobody really tripping on it.
Yeah, I mean,
but when it came to turn off the light, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, in the chorus of Boys in the Hood, I don't know if we can curse on here, but the other say what and get the, that's me, saying that on Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
But for as far as, when you talk about the style of the music, it was really not, it's not that big of a stretch to hear Wreckin Cru, Cabbage Patch, and this is, those, Surgery, Juice, Lovers, World Class, all of that, and then sort of put on an NWA record and draw a direct comparison.
Arabian Prince produced Something to Dance to, and the other song they have, I forgot what it's called. Panic Zone. That's the one he produced. Arabian Prince produced both of those. Arabian Prince ain't nothing but Wreckin Cru solo.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's a solo version of Wreckin Cru. Okay, so and they had to bring him into the group because nobody had no equipment but him.
Yeah,
he's the only one that had any drum machines and keyboards. Dre didn't have none. Easy didn't have none. So when they started making music, and they knew going into K-Day, if they had something to dance to or something like Panic Zone, they had a better chance of getting airplay. They never intended for that stuff to get airplay. Easy just kind of pushed it after Greg Mack, after he finally, after Easy finally did the proper edits. That's when they finally got some airplay because the song was so hot in the streets. Getting back to Turn Off the Lights, when I heard about it, and I heard about Master P for the first time, that single was at 200,000 units. And that was the only song I've ever written by myself, word for word, because nobody wanted to do it. Wow. I wrote everybody's part, and Dre had been playing with that beat for a minute. It was an old beat from New Birth. And I remember I was at the Compton Swap Meet selling some records, and it hit me like a ton of bricks because the girl actually told me some shit similar to that not long before that. And when I heard about it with Master P, and I found that it was damn near platinum, damn near gold, they tried to cut a deal. And I'm like, well, how you gonna bring it to my house, steal my TV set, I catch you, and now right before you go to jail, you want to make a deal? Nope. And that shit went platinum, and shit, I was a happy camper.
Okay, you got paid off of that.
Hell yeah.
My man.
Hell yeah. Still get paid off of it.
All right. That's what's up.
Domino, should I tell them my secret, Domino? About Yella and Arabian Prince?
Yeah, go for it.
I thought they were the same person.
Oh my goodness. That's funny as hell. I'm sorry. That's
why.
That is funny.
I literally had to send her two different pictures of Arabian.
Wow. And that's some special needs shit right there.
Funny as hell, man.
That's some special needs shit right there.
It was like, that ain't the same person. I'm like, no.
I was little. But you know what? I can understand why. Like, I can literally, they both were like hardcore Prince fans.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look left or
pretty
you look,
motherfuckers.
if you look left, you look right, you know, and they were standing on the side of you, you couldn't really tell them the difference because the mannerisms, everything, they wanted to be Prince. I mean, you know, Arabian, he had the hair going to the side, and the yellow was with the purple and the gloves on and all that. So I could understand.
They both about the same height.
Yeah.
They're both about the same height.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, if I was around and I got to meet either one of them, somebody told me to go home 5 minutes later. So it's not like I really got to spend any amount of time with them.
That is funny.
Or in their presence. So I thought they were the same person.
Right.
Yeah, she had me cracking up when she told me that, boy.
That's some good shit right there. That's some good shit. That's a good one right there. I like that one.
How did y'all feel when you know, Easy and Dre had their little thing, but Easy mentioned y'all into this, you know, into this thing?
I never took that shit serious, man. I never took it personal. In fact, I'm the one that licensed Easy the goddamn song, the picture of Drake when, you know, doing the dumb shit. Okay,
the Dexter Wizard. And Easy was a friend of mine. Matter of fact, Easy and I, before he passed away, we had actually started talking about working on an album together.
Wait, hold on. You gave him the picture?
Hell yeah, he gave me $2,500. He gave me $2,500. I licensed him the goddamn picture. Shit, you want to? You got some money? You know what?
Oh, wow.
At that time, I knew it was bullshit, and I refused to turn down money for bullshit. Okay, and Easy wanted to clown Dre, and I got $2,500 licensed this picture. Okay, make the check out to Alonzo Williams. Okay, and that was my attitude. And when they dissed him, he dissed Wreckin Cru too. But you know, that was part of hip hop, man. Yeah. You know, I told Dre a long time ago. Dre, Yella, Tupac were the only people that went from one thing to another. The only people in hip hop that went from being dancers or pretty boys to being gangsters. Hey. And Tupac, unlike Dre and Yella, he embraced it. Hey, I danced a Digital Underground. I would dance in my drawers, pull off my pants on stage to have a place to eat. And he says this. So you can't use this as a weapon against him.
Right. Well, he attended ballet school, you know, with Jay Pinkett. So you can't use this as a, you know, it's like with Eminem was in 8 Mile. When I live in the trailer park. I did this. Yeah. So now you took all this ammunition. Yeah, you took all the weapons away.
But if you're ashamed of it, people could use it as a billy club to hit you over the head, and that's the part that they never understood. Embrace the shit, man. Yeah, I did the shit. It was how I got into the game. Okay, I'll do it again if it's gonna get me $1 billion. Okay, because without that lipstick and them goddamn white suit, the billionaire would not be there. Ain't no billion without it. That's part of the process.
Yeah.
But he's a real friend.
Huh?
I said, but Alonzo, you're a real friend. That's who you are.
Hey, I try to be.
Alonzo was on my picture too. Quick.
But understand this. When you know Easy, and you know Easy like I knew Easy, like clientele knew Easy. Easy was a joker. He was a funny dude. He did shit. He did shit to fuck with people. That was his thing. Easy was a practical joker. Okay, he was a practical joker, and Easy would do shit like shit like that, and I knew it. I knew it what he was gonna do. We sit there and watch, and he would push it on Dre, whoever. And to know he was gonna do this with this record, I didn't give a shit. I wasn't gonna get it. I didn't care. Okay, Dre was gonna get pissed. Dre was out. He can be sensitive sometimes. Okay, he can be a little sensitive sometimes. And at that time, I didn't give a shit. I needed some money. Hey, fuck it.
Now,
overnight check. I'll pay for the FedEx.
But Dre did say world class Wreckin Cru in a positive light when on the Still Dre, which is
that's because Jay-Z wrote that line. Jay-Z wrote that line.
I've been tried and true since my days at World Class Wreckin Cru.
The story there were several versions of that song. Snoop wrote a version, DOC wrote a version. Jay-Z walked into the studio and said, "Yo, you know, let me write some stuff." And Jay-Z went in there in something like 30 minutes and penned that. And you know, hands down, he just blew everybody else out the water with those lyrics. And yeah, the shout out to Wreckin Cru was there. Dre shouted us out, and he'll probably shout out that and probably sing that line in the Super Bowl. So that's going to be definitely a really, really cool thing to see. Yeah. And you know, Lonzo and I both, we talk about this. We are so proud of his journey, so proud of what he's been able to accomplish. And, you know, just, you know, the sky's the limit, truly. And it's just the fact that we have even been a small part of that, you know, and it had something to do with that, our hand in that. It's like, you know, pat us on the back, you know, for that too as well.
A big part. I think that he would say that you're a big part as well.
Awesome.
I wasn't going to say this, but I have to apologize to him because I've been clowning him for the surgery all these years. And now I know that I need to give that to clientele.
You can give it. I'll take it, because you know what? Here's the reality of it. He and I both wrote that song, 50-50 on it. And the dance scene at that time called for that kind of stuff. We were huge fans of Kraftwerk, huge fans of Annie Lennox, huge fans of, Twilight 22 and all those up-tempo groups. But here's one thing Dre has never said or never admitted. He wanted to be like Egyptian Lover, a member of Uncle Jam's army. And at that time, Dre worshiped the ground Egypt walked on, right? Because Egypt was a premier DJ at the time. You know, he was the hot dude, you know, and the hottest DJ, you know, the hottest thing going out of Uncle Jam's army. You know, they did the big dances and all of that. So when Lonzo had asked me to do that song, to write something for Dre, the story goes, I was sitting at home watching General Hospital. No, I wasn't a fan of General Hospital. My mother watched General Hospital. We had one TV in the house. The guy was laying in the hospital bed. We heard that beeping. I the song pretty much wrote itself after that. Yeah. I took it back to Dre. He put together the beat, you know, for it. And he put together the bass line. I did the melody. We pretty much put that song together. And, the rest is history, man. And so, but to this day, I still hear DJs all over the world. Man, we still bump that song, man. That song is dope. And that's because, again, we were trying to cater to our audience and do something for our fan base.
This is my last question. It'll be real quick. All right. I went to see the Jacksons in 2013 with New Edition. And I was like, man, can they pull it off without Mike? And a lot of people left, but I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna ask the World Class Wreckin Cru. Is there a World Class Wreckin Cru? Can y'all do a show without Dr. Dre?
They've been doing it.
Been doing it. Well, you know what? That's the crazy part, because Dre was never the leader of the group.
Nope.
Dre was always behind the turntables. He had one song. Well, actually, we have about Surgery, House Calls, He's Bionic, are 3 songs about a doctor or Dre's cutting skills. We don't do Bionic. We never did. We don't do Bionic anymore. He's Bionic in the show anymore, and we very seldom do House Calls. So we basically only do Surgery. And he has his lines in Lovers and Turn Off the Lights. Mm-hmm. He ain't like he was Teddy Pendergrass, okay? He ain't Teddy Pendergrass. He ain't Michael. He wasn't spinning around his head. He was the DJ that had some lines. Only person that didn't have a lot of lines in Wreckin Cru was Yella. I had lines in Wreckin Cru. Yella didn't have that many lines. Yella never been one of the rapping type. He had a line on Lovers and Turn Off the Lights, but for the most part, Yella don't have, all right, Yella. We don't do that, okay? Dre had some frontman parts, but oddly enough, even as crazy as it may sound, Dre would always, people had booked us as Dr. Dre and the World Class Wreckin Cru. Fuck!
But that came again, it started with the song Surgery.
Surgery. Yeah, we look up on the billboard there, Dr. Dre and the World Class Wreckin Cru.
Yeah.
This ain't Smokey Robinson and the Temptations. So,
Yeah.
Yes, because we're gonna bring the same heat. Domino gonna do the same scratches. We all have our own fan bases between social media and podcasts and whatever people want to. Yeah, Dre is always gonna be Dre, no matter what.
And he's more than welcome. Whenever he wants to rock the stage with us, hey, listen, the door is always open. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't doing nothing Super Bowl Sunday. I got a couple of shit. I can climb up there with y'all for a minute. But
hey, man,
it'll be fine.
people ask me too. They're like, man, Domino, man, how's it stepping in Dre's shoes? Is that big? Like, what? Like, man, I'm a badass DJ anyway. You know, I mean, I started off as a battle DJ. I've always been a battle DJ. You know, so, but I just don't understand why people say, oh man, you feeling Dr. Dre's shoes. No, I'm not. I'm feeling DJ Domino's shoes. That's what I'm doing.
And Wreckin Cru has always been about family, you know, and accepting people into the family. And again, it wasn't just 4 guys, you know, on the record covers and whatnot that you see. We had at least 30, 40 other people, you know, in our whole, you know, circle, in our whole camp, you know, either whether they were moving equipment, providing security, you know, selling merch for us, whatever it is that they were doing. You know, we had people, we had a street team, we had, you know, street teams of street teams. So it was really more about just extended family of people that even to this day, like we still are close to each other. You know, Yella he just guest spoke in my class a couple of days ago. Alonzo has been a guest speaker, you know, several times. We go on speaking tours together. You know, we're at colleges and universities and all over the place together. And really, truly what it is about is what we did in the beginning, which was express our love of hip hop. And that's what it was really all about from the beginning. And that's what it's been about.
I think one small little tidbit factor that people realize, we're probably the only group that 3 out of 4 members have written a book. Okay, 3 out of 4. I mean, me, Yella, and Clientele all written our books. Dre has numerous books written on him. He has written his own book, but he's written book. People have written books on him that were bootleg, pretty much. Copy and paste bullshit. But they, you know, we all have our own various documentation of our road to success, and it encounters everything that we did for the most part. So, like I said, we are, like Clientele said, we got some book tours together, playing together. Everybody got a documentary. Everybody's in everybody's documentary. You know, it just is. You know, only person we don't get is Dre, and I understand Dre can't do everything. He ain't the same Dre he was when he was with Wreckin Cru. So, you know, they called looking for him, trying to get us to him. Leave it alone.
That's right. There you go. Straight out of Compton and NWA, Not Without Alonzo. Also clienteling, holding up his. So let me help him out.
Renaissance man.
Clientele right here. Clientele, if people want to like sit in on your class, is that something that's possible? Can you tell people where you're teaching and where they can find you?
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's LA Film School, of course, LA Film School, LA Recording School, all that good stuff. And if they want to, they could just hit me up on IG, DM me, and then I can give them the link. But absolutely, yeah, I'd love to have folks. I'd love to have you come on, Cherie, and talk to the students, because we talk about everything, film, you know, TV, all kind of stuff. So
I would love to. Absolutely.
Cherie, what show are you on again there? I remember your face. What show are you on? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was a baby. I was on Punky Brewster and Family Matters.
Okay.
DJ Domino, if people want to find you, tell them about your store.
Oh yeah, Bump Box Riverside. We sell bump boxes, and as a matter of fact, Clientele, he's a part of it too.
Yep.
And we sell Bluetooth speakers. We took it back to the old school.
Yes.
And we have you know, regular boom boxes. As a matter of fact, we also even have pagers.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Speaker pagers.
Does you put candy in that thing or what?
No, it's a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
Okay. I did see one of them. Okay.
Alonzo, don't be over there Googling me so you can clown me later.
Where we can buy them at, Domino? Where we can buy them at? That's dope.
You know what? You can go to bumpbox.com.
Bumpbox.com.
And
okay.
Yeah, and that's BUMBBOXX.com. And we got different sizes radios. We got the big, I call them the grandpa, with 4 speakers. And trust me, they sound hell of a good.
They do. They really do. High quality stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the sounds are amazing on this. Matter of fact, a lot of people use it in their videos now. So you'll see, anytime you see a radio with the letter B in the middle of it that lights up, that's a bump box right there.
Mm.
You know,
Alonzo, you still letting kids in your studio?
You know what? I just had a session today, babe. Yes, I do. I have a nonprofit called the Lyrical Revolution, and in the Lyrical Revolution, I work with folks that's trying to change the lyrical climate. And yet, yes, I will extend my studio to some of the people that want to do that. I do my podcast out of my house. I do the studio out of the house. Yes, to answer your question, yes, I still open my doors to artists.
I love it. Shout out your podcast and your Roku channel one more time, please.
My podcast is NWA Stories with Alonzo on YouTube, and my television channel is the Homegrown Media Network on Roku. Just go to Roku, add channel, it's free, and you'll love the content. It's I got a lot of content on there, and I'm working on even more. In fact, I got to get this stuff from clientele meeting we did that time back in the day.
It. Thank you so much. Now, you guys, I got to let you go, but I want you all to come back individually. Can we do that one day?
Yeah,
definitely.
You sure can.
Okay.
Anytime.
Yeah, I really enjoyed y'all, man. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks, folks.
I appreciate you too.
Thank you.
I love you guys. I'm proud.
Thank you, darling.
Love you too, Cherie.
Love you back.
Punky Brewster. Punky Brewster.
Leave me alone.
I wasn't gonna say anything, Cherie, because I already know that you got other stuff beyond that, and you got some dope, some stuff that you've done, performances, man, on other stuff, shows, movies, all that.
Also, just want to clown somebody.
That's all. That's all. That's why I didn't want to say nothing. I wasn't even gonna go there.
What can I tell you?
Heard across the world. Welcome to Cherie's world. Heard across the world. Welcome to Cherie's world. Representing for every girl. Welcome to Cherie's world. Representing for every girl. Welcome to Cherie's world.